You've mentioned the mental blocks from your own injuries. I'm curious if you could share, when you've been injured in the past, what did you do that helped you get past that mental block?
Yeah. So the biggest one for me, and this has happened in several different things, but 3 days out from a fitness competition, and I herniated a disc in my low back deadlifting, and it was really bad. And my very first thought was, okay, you just did this, accept it. Your rehab starts right now. So I immediately got to work. I was in the middle of a workout and I just left and I started doing everything that I knew I needed to start laying down those early foundations. Now, the earlier you can get intervention, typically the faster you can recover. But I was 3 days out from this competition and I still showed up trying to say okay, can I still do this? And it was absolutely a no-go. So I had to drop out, and so it was a big bummer. Once I accepted that I wasn't competing that anymore, I had to shift my focus onto the new goal. Nothing else really mattered other than getting this taken care of. And in the process of that, I still wanted to maintain, strength and fitness in other areas. So I quickly tried to find things and avenues that I could do I could still work myself, but make sure that it didn't irritate the back in any way. And in the background, I was working on rebuilding myself, but I didn't quite really wrap my mind around what it was going to feel like for something to take that long. Because the reality is when you go through one of those injuries that was as bad as that, recovery times can be, they can be 6 months to 2 years long. And it took me a little over 18 months until I was back. I had, gradually gotten back into deadlifting again. And then I finally hit my old numbers. And there was this number on the bar that I was terrified of because I just knew that was the level that I was at before my injury. And I knew that getting back to that would mean that I would be kind of pushing that limit of where I hurt myself again. And the time that I finally did that thing that I was so scared of doing, and I did it well, was the turning point for my brain mentally. Because every other time leading up to that, every time I would go up to the bar, I would be so scared until I hit that number again. We call this in the rehab world, we call this the expectation violation. So it is the moment in time where you have this expectation of, I'm going to do this thing and this thing is going to hurt because every other time I have done this thing, it has hurt. And then you go and you do that for the first time and it doesn't hurt. And there's something that's so magic and so powerful about that moment of, that it's going to be okay, right? It's going to be fine. And a lot of times that expectation violation moment is closely tied to that why as well. And I kind of knew that up here that was true, but I had not ever experienced it here. And once I did, I realized this is so powerful.